Okay, welcome to another video in my tutorial series. I don't quite remember which one in the series this is, but it's like 10 or 11 or something. Today I'm gonna be making a command that has been requested a lot, and that is the mute and unmute command. And this is also a timed mute, so you can like mute people for different periods of time, for example an hour or 10 minutes if you want that. So it's actually very simple. Just let's hop into that. So of course the first thing you gotta do is pull up your code. You of course gotta watch everything we've done earlier to like set up everything. You're probably gonna have some more stuff in your code because you have like all the commands we made, but I just like to clear that. But yeah, let's get started. So we're gonna run the files in the command folder. If you don't have the command handler, I suggest you do that, because you don't need to, but it's gonna make the code more clean. So we're gonna make a if statement, and that is gonna be the if the command is equal to mute, we do client.commands.get the mute command .execute, then we pass through the message and the args. Then we gotta do a else if statement. So the else if, you don't need to, but just to make your else if you don't need to, you can also just make another if statement, but you know, if the command is equal to unmute, we're gonna just go that, take this from up there and change this to unmute. So that's pretty simple. Now we actually gotta start making our file. So we gotta make one new file that we call mute.js, and then one new file that we gotta call unmute.js. I like to start on the mute command, so yeah, let's just do that. So for this to work, we gotta do some stuff. We first gotta install some stuff, so click terminal and then new terminal, and then npm ims for milliseconds. Oh, well, I guess not. Let me just pull up my okay, so you can do it in the terminal, but for some odd reason my shit doesn't want to work, so we're gonna do it to the terminal. I can show you how to do that too. So you gotta find the folder you have. That's gonna be on my coding, and the tutorial. Not that, but the tutorial bot. Here we have it. Then we gotta copy the path, go into our cmd, cd, there we go, and then npm ims. And as you see, ms has been downloaded. So yeah, that's pretty simple. Now we can go out of that, and then we can start some code. So first we want to require discord or discord.js if you want to use embeds and that kind of stuff. And we also do need this for some stuff. Then we want to require the const ms as we made, or not made, but downloaded as earlier, just to make sure that is in here. Yep, it's in there. Then we want to do the module exports. You can just copy this from your earlier commands. Get the name. The name is gonna be mute and the description is going to be mutes a user. Then we want to async. Oh yeah, because this is what's it called? JSON format. We gotta put a comma there. Then we want to async execute. That's a function, and then we want the message and the args as we passed through in the index. Open it up once more and we'll start. So of course we want them to have the permission mute members. So the way we do that is message.member.hasPermissions. Make sure this P is uppercase, by the way. Mute underscore members, not users but members. Open that up, and then we can actually put a else statement here. So return message.channel.send. You can't use this command. There we go. So if they don't have the mute members permission, they are going to get that message back instead. Now we want to, what's it called? We want to get the user that we mention, or like, cause let me show you in Discord here. So we want to go our prefix, then mute, mention the member, and then for example 1 hour. We gotta get that user so we can like use that in specific. Oh wait, I see we're coding in the unmute. So simple way to do that is, okay, let me just do that. I can rename this real quick to be and then we can rename this again to be mute. There we go. Yeah, we want to like get the user so we can like use the user we want to mute. We basically gotta use that to add roles and stuff, because we want to add roles through the, what's it called? Yeah, you want to basically mute the user. So let me show you. So I have the member role from the auto roles thing, but we also want to make a muted. Put that there. Then make sure this has no permissions. Boom, 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 boom. Remove all of those permissions. The everyone role, we don't want to have any permissions. The muted, no, the member role can have, you know, whatever. Doesn't really matter because we're gonna remove that from the user. Then the muted role, we gotta make sure this does not have send messages. Then we can make a, for example, create category text channels, and then let's say chat. So in this you want to go into permissions, and then the muted role can be allowed to view the channel but should not be allowed to send messages. That's the important part. Everyone, you know, don't give that to any, like, don't give any permission to that. And then member can have the send messages. So now when we test that, when we're done coding, when the bot removes the member role, and then let me fix this. So the member role, no, everyone should be allowed to view the channel. There we go. So when it removes the member role and then adds the muted role, we just want to make sure they can't type in the channels. Though if they have some other role that does allow them to type in the channel, the muted role isn't gonna work either. So yeah, I'll talk a bit more about that later, but for now we're just gonna keep coding. So yeah, let's define the user. So let's call it mute. Yeah, mute user is equal to message dot guild dot member message dot mentions dot first, and that's a function. Then we want to do the, so we want to define basically the member. So we want, so this is the user and this is the mute member. I'll show you why we do this in a second. So mentions dot members dot first, that's also a function. So let's just mark this up as user and member functions, or it's not functions but vars for variables. Then we want to, so let me show you. So basically the thing we want, we already have the mute members, so just to make it a lot easier, but in some servers you probably don't want the, for example, the administrator to, like a moderator shouldn't be able to mute a administrator. So that's what we're making at the moment. So let's just do /author role. That's gonna be equal to the message dot member dot roles dot highest. So basically the highest role of the, if the highest role of the user that sent the what's it called, the message, if that their highest role is underneath the user they're trying to mute that person's highest role, then they can't mute them due to that being done. So let me pull up that. There we go. This is the message author method author's highest role, and then we want the tar or mute user's highest role. This is gonna be the user want to mute their highest role, so we can call that for basically, let's go for target role. That's gonna be equal to mute member as we defined up there dot roles dot highest, and I did spell that correctly. Then we want to make a if statement. So if author role dot compare position to the target role, then we do if it's smaller or equal to 0, we want to basically open it up, and then we can do, so this is the, you don't need to open up, but just to make it a bit more organized, I like to open every function up. You can put an embed in here, but I'm just gonna be putting a message, return message dot channel dot send. Sorry, but you can't mute that user. good. Then I can also show you something really cool actually. So let's just do let message is equal to that. Let's remove the return. Then, since we're using async, we can do something cool here. So let's do the message. Or actually, we can do message.delete to keep all the channels really clear. Then msg.delete timeout 6000. And we can also do this down here. So basically what this is gonna do, also let's put a return under there. So basically what this is gonna do is, so this is when they don't have correct permission. So it's gonna return the message, then delete the original message. Then after 6 seconds, it's gonna delete this message, and then it's gonna return. So it's basically to keep the channels really clean. Then we can make sure they, so if args 0, so if they, no, it's gotta be args1, because you could put args0 too, but then you gotta put the args1 also underneath. So why we do that is because we want them to have some parameters in their message. So we want them to have the mute, which is the command mute, and then we want them to mention the user. That's gonna be the first parameter, or args0, and then for example 1 hour, which is gonna be the first, or args1. So we just want to make sure they have this one, because if they don't have this one, they even if they don't have this one, they don't have this one, and then the code is just gonna recognize that, because there's no reason to put this 2 times, because if they don't have a args, if they just have args0, the command is also gonna be wrong. So you know, that's not gonna work either. So just to make the code smaller, we're just gonna check for the last one, so the 1 hour. What I'm trying to say is you could also put it like this, but that's just really unnecessary, because if they don't have this one, it's not even gonna work. So there's no reason to have it 2 times. So we can basically just take this and then please make sure to fill out all the required args, or you can put arguments, anything you want really. Then we want to make sure the mute user is in the what's it called, the server. So if the mute, not member but user, and the reason we put the exclamation mark is because that just makes it so it's, if it's not, this would be if it's true, this is if it's false. There we go. And then we can do the same thing, just take this, put it down there, and then that, or I can't find that user. And now we're getting to some variables. So the first one is the main role. That's going to be message.guild.roles.cache .find role, arrow function role.name is equal to, there we go, let me just, and then you press Alt Shift and arrow key down, you can switch this with the, so this would be mute role. Now you go into your Discord, you first check, so the main role is going to be the member, so just copy that, go into your code, go into the main role, paste that in there, go back to your Discord, take the muted role name, and then pop that in there. Now we're gonna use some MS we implemented at the top. So let raw time is gonna be equal to the args1, so the time we put in, and then to make sure that it's a valid time, so they can't just do like this at the end, we just simply put in time is equal to ms raw time. There we go. And then if the main role is not true, we do message dot guild dot default role dot set permissions, put it at 0. So if the main role, or if the server has no member role, we're basically gonna set all the permissions for the everyone role to 0. Then if the mute role, so if the not mute user but mute role, if that's not true, we go up here, we take this, we plop that in there, and then we remove that, and then I can't find the mute role, because the mute role is necessary for this code to work. You could also put in some code to make that that role, but you know. Then if the time, or if the time is not valid, so as I showed you earlier, they can't just put in random shit, we're gonna take this again, then we do make sure to input a valid time. And now we're getting to the bottom of this soon enough. So we now want to check if they have the muted role already, so if they're already muted. So if not person, but muted, I put in the mute user, there we go. So if the mute user dot roles dot cache dot has, then you want to put a string, go into your Discord, go into roles and copy the ID of the muted role. If that doesn't pop up, go into user settings, then you go down to appearance, scroll down and check the developer mode. Then you just go back and you right click, copy ID. Now you go in and paste that in there. We go up here, take this again. There we go, and we say that user is already muted. Pretty simple. Now this is really up to you, but you know, if you have a log channel, I can show you. So let's just make a log if you have a log channel, this is the code to log everything that happens with the mute role or the mute command. So the const log channel is going to be equal to message.guild.channels.cache.find channel.id is equal to the ID of the log channel. There we go. Now we want to do the roles, or like remove and add the roles. So mute user dot roles dot remove main role, and then mute user dot roles dot add, and then the mute role, not the mute user but the mute role. Now we're gonna send a message telling the moderator that we muted the user. So let's just do message.channel.send, make that, there we go, muted mute user dot let me actually do ID, put that and that. Then we can go down a line and then log channel.send. So this is the log message. Message.author.id, put these again. Muted. Now put the mute user. There we go. For time. Or actually, this can probably be args1 to make it better. Then we want to make the function that removes the roles. So set timeout, make it async. That's a function, or it's a function. So do this, boom, pow. Then we want to make sure the user hasn't been. So if the user is unmuted, we don't want to do anything. So if mute user dot roles dot cache dot has, then we want to go back to our Discord, roles muted, copy the ID. There we go, and then we simply want to return now we do log channel dot send unmuted. See, this gotta be like that. Unmuted message, no, not message, but mute user dot ID, boom, boom, pow, after args1. Simple as that. Yeah, I also see we got, oh my god, this should be down here. Oh wait, no, that's not right. Okay, where do I get the errors from? Oh no, that shouldn't be there. Okay, now we're good. Then yeah, make sure this is down here, so it's like this. You just put a comma and then time, so it waits the time it got. Then we want to add and remove the roles, so mute user dot roles dot add main role mute user dot roles dot remove mute role. And that's it for the mute command. So we should just test this real quick. So let's start debugging. Let me get my terminal. The bot is online. Now let's try to just do the normal mute. And we have errors. Okay, wait, let me see. Message.member does have permission, not permissions. That should fix the problem. Mute. Still not. message.mentions.users.first. Now let's try a third time and let's hope we don't get any errors. We do, haha. Roles of undefined. We have at line 17. Now that's strange. Ah, my god. It's not strange because we are missing a mentions. I am really positive it's gonna work now. Mute. Still no, what the heck? 14. Message dot, and I'm still a potato. It should be like this. Now let's try. Okay. And why? It shouldn't even be like that. Message.member. Okay, so scroll that. It should be like that, and all of that is correct. Let's try to reload the code. Do like this, mute. Still no. Roles of undefined. I know why. We don't have any roles. Let's try to... Wait, what? And it's... Oh, 17 now. Message.mentions.members.first. Okay, I see why. It's due to this needing to be a pair. We shall hope. Praise the Lord. Okay, sorry about that. A lot of errors, like a lot of them. Now, we do have a problem now with the message.delete not working. Now, my question to you is why that doesn't work. But that's because we don't have await. Haha. The code doesn't want to be on my side today, it would seem. But that's a simple fix. Await. Await. And await. So if we now try to mute, it wants to delete, then we wait some time and it surely enough deletes. So we now know that works. Let's try to see if it still works if we don't have the time. Still works, good. Then we do, what if we just do mute G? Wait, mute G1. Okay, I am really tripping today. I know why this is a problem, but I can't seem to think why I didn't think of this. So this also gotta be up there. So now if we do just some random shit. That's because the mute user is not defined. Let's try to reload. Mute G1. Oh yeah, I can't find that user. Good, finally. So we know every like error fix and stuff works now. You see, everyone has errors, but we fixed them together, or I fixed them and you watched. But you know. Now let's get my other account online. So let me just go into Discord on my other monitor and I'll log into the account and I will go on that so we can check if it actually works with all the like channels and stuff. So there we go. There we go, my account is online. Now I can just test. Yep, the account is online. Now let's try to mute for 10 seconds. Oh, I see now. Due to the, so let me just do staff. Due to us not having a higher role than a test account, we gotta make a staff account, no, a staff role. So now we also know that works, but now we have a staff role and we now should be able to mute them perfectly for 10 seconds. Okay then. So the thing is, okay, I probably just copied the wrong ID. Let me copy that and then go into here. And surely enough, we did. Reload. Now if we, so now we also know that works. Now if we do the test, 10 seconds, becomes muted. And I can already see on my other monitor that I can't type. Let's just check if I get unmuted, and I do, so everything works fine. I'll show you. So mute test 1 minute now, so I can show you. Let me get this over here so you can see I cannot type. I do have the mute role, so though I can't even type here, that's good. And we also see the log works perfectly fine. Let's wait for the unmuted, or no, that's gonna take a while. That's gonna take a whole minute, but you see the logging works, and we have no errors. So we fixed all the errors. Just if you get errors, please go over the video like 10 times before you contact me, because I've been getting a lot of DMs from you guys where it's really simple what the problem is. So just go over the video, see everything I just fixed, and it should work. Now you probably should put this in embeds. Same with this, so it doesn't mention the user all the time. But you get the deal, the muted works, and now we see I got unmuted and it logs. So now let's get on to the unmute stuff. So let's just go up here. Hopefully, or good that the unmute code is not too big, but still pretty big. So let's just copy this, head over to the unmute, paste that in there. Then we can format the document. We can put a else statement, unmute, and then unmute say user. So it's a lot of the same from the mute command. We can actually basically get like a lot. So the args 0 c, there we go. We need the mute user. We do need all of, we don't need that. Okay, so yeah, we take this, we get that in there, change this to 0. We need to head over here and take the roles, because that's something we need. There we go. Okay, yeah, so we have that in place. Now I'm thinking about what to do. So we need to, okay, we can actually get the log channel first though, because that's something we need. We need to paste that in there. Now we want to see, so if they do have the mute role, so actually we can just head over to here, go up to this. So this is if they don't have the mute role, then we simply just do this. So if they do have the mute role, we want to open up, and then the else statement is gonna be, just take this, that user does not have the muted role. I also see we gotta take this, delete that, go up here, put that in there. Now, simple thing to do is to go in here. Then we can do message.channel.send. So unmuted mute user.id then we want to do mute user.roles, do shift and alt to get that down there. Main role, and we want to remove the mute role. Then we want to log channel.send. Mute user.id was unmuted by message.author.id. Do that, and that. And we can also take this, go down here and say you don't have, or you can't use this command. Looks about it, actually. Doesn't look like we need anything more, so let's test it. Terminal. The bot is online. Let's go into the chat. Now let's mute for 1 minute. He's muted. Now let's unmute, test. And he got unmuted, and surely enough, he was unmuted. I came to the log, though it does seem, for some weird reason, that it can't find the log channel in here. Well, that's probably just because I accidentally removed that. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, so it works perfectly fine. Oh, it does not. Wait. Copy that ID. Let's just take this and put it all the way at the top. Why did it not want to move? No. Remove the thing itself. Okay, let's try to mute test 1 minute. Oh, we gotta do that, and then mute test 1 minute is muted. I came to the log, no errors. Now for the big part, unmute test, please do work. And it works perfectly fine. Yeah, that was it for today. If you have any problems, just DM me or put it in the comments on Discord. You can find my stuff down there in the description. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.